world where companies would rather do share buybacks than dividend increases, and being a dividend-focused investor, I'm always looking for something that gives me that edge. And I recently discovered that there are still companies that exist that will actually offer you discounts on shares you're purchasing through a DRIP enrollment, which just stands for Dividend Reinvestment Plan. And I want to challenge you to go through your entire portfolio and see if you can find any of these companies, because I've realized in this day and age, they are an absolute rarity. And all the companies I'm going to go over, you aren't going to find on the S&P 500. These are not companies you're just going to scroll around and end up finding on Google searches. This took me a lot of time to figure out, and I want to give you an example and go through the companies in my personal portfolio that offer these discounts. The first one being Northland Power. This is a natural energy utility, one of the first stocks I ever bought, and I recently realized that they're offering a 0 to 3% discount. It's generally a 3% discount, but they have to say this because they usually purchase at market open, and if the market's volatile and drops and you end up buying in the morning, well, unfortunately, you're not going to get the full discount. However, 3% off the current share price is about $1.25. So not only are you not paying commissions to purchase the stock now, the company's just issuing shares instead of paying you out in cash, but those dividends or those shares they're giving you actually have a higher dividend, because if each share has a 2.84% yield, well, now you can increase that by an extra 3%, which I know is incremental, but this will add up. And let me explain a little farther, because in my personal dividend income for Northland Power, I've been lucky to capture over a 5% yield. It is paying me $607 annually. If I reset up that DRIP, just the money I'm saving on the discount, not including the dividend increase from that 3%, I know this is getting a little convoluted, but I'll save $18. Not the hugest amount of capital, and I know, but let me keep going because I promise you this is going to add up. So just on the year, I will save an extra $18 from setting up that 3% DRIP enrollment discount. Taking a look at Bank of Nova Scotia, and I reiterate this time and time again, I truly believe the Canadian banks are more robust, foundational, and secure than many of the U.S. counterparted banks, because even in the last crash here, because of the pandemic, these banks were still able to pay out their dividends and, in fact, even increase them in cases like Canadian Imperial Bank. But even with these banks, there are far and few between that are offering these discounts. And luckily, Bank of Nova Scotia is one of these. They claim in their most recent DRIP enrollment filing that there may be a discount up to 5% to the average market price. 5%. It is a rarity to find a place where you'll put money and you'll immediately make a 5% return. Unbelievable. And then keep in mind, those dividends are going to go up 5% on every one of those shares. Now, keep in mind, that's not a 5% increase. It's a 5% increase on the 4.4%. So again, incremental, but this can compound over a decade's period of time. So just taking a look, I'm making about $615, a 5% yield in my TFSA off my Bank of Nova Scotia shares. If I get a 5% discount, that means over the year, I will have a savings of $30 on those share repurchases, and those $30 in savings also compounds into that dividend return, right? Which credible stuff. Another bank, Toronto Dominion, another favorite bank of mine, guys, that has just been skyrocketing in return since the crash. This one also claims that the common shares will be purchased either at the market price or the open market or at average market price when purchased from the Treasury of TD. There may also be a discount of up to 5% to the average market price. That's crazy. Literally, I am showing you a way to make an immediate 5% return on owning these stocks, which is just crazy. So I'm unfortunately not even making enough to buy one TD share. So this is going to be something that I may focus on going into the new year, because I do own TD shares outside of my TFSA. But unfortunately, all your shares kind of have to be in one place, and you have to make enough dividends to even purchase a single share. So there are caveats that this might be better for people buying larger portions of investments, because unfortunately in Canada, these banks that I'm using, they won't let you do DRIP enrollment unless that dividend on that quarterly payment is enough to cover one full share. But again, guys, taking a look on that, if I could pull that off on $227, and again, that's not my entire TD position, that would be $11.35. So we're getting close now to that $50 range in savings. And again, that's discounted against the current stock price. So when I get those shares at a 5% discount, I'm getting a slight increase on the dividends on those shares. So that compounded rate would severely add up. Now, there's only one other company I found in Canada so far that offers this, and it is Bank of Montreal, which has also just been high flying this year. And they also offer up to a 5% against the market price, which just blows my mind. because these banks went through some hard times recently, and I'm surprised we're even able to pull this off, or if it is even legit. I don't know if this information is 100% accurate. So what I'm going to do for you is I've gone into my DRIP enrollment plan on my account, and I'm going to enroll Northland Power, and I'm going to enroll Bank of Nova Scotia. Now, I think I put TD on here, but I realized it won't even matter because I don't own enough shares, so we're going to put that aside, and I'm going to run a quick test. When I get into my next dividend payments, which luckily for Northland Power is monthly, unfortunately for Bank of Nova Scotia won't be for a few months, I'm going to see what I actually end up paying for those shares and re-report back to you. So we're going to click go ahead and submit that and let that DRIP enrollment start up. Beautiful. So I want to pass the question off to you at this point. I need you to go through your portfolio and see if you can find any companies, because I know these are all Canadian companies, but I swear I couldn't find one US company. And trust me, if you Google it, you might see JP Morgan and some of these companies come up, but when you actually go into their investor relation page, they don't offer it anymore. Most companies have canceled DRIP enrollment in favor of share buybacks or dividend increases, but even dividend increases are a rarity, as a lot of the aristocrats have been getting destroyed through the pandemic with companies like AT&T. But in light of all of this, folks, an educational video, stay cool, stay awesome, and keep getting those dividends.